outside, you can get past those trees. And that's the Grand Hotel. You might be able to see its weather vane on there as well, lovely weather vane. Instead of the traditional cockerel, it does actually have a steam train harkening back to its heritage as the North Eastern Railway Company's headquarters. We turn left here, we're turning into Memorial Gardens, and these are gardens designed to commemorate those who lost their lives in the First and Second World War. This is the nearest stop for the York Railway Museum, so we're going off to the Railway Museum here, instead of us here. If you haven't been already, the Railway Museum is well worth a visit. It's absolutely huge, so definitely do allow a fair amount of time if you can to go around there. They've also got one of the Japanese bullet trains that was gifted to them in the early 2000s. It's actually the only bullet train that exists outside of Japan, so that's well worth seeing. The best exhibition they have there is the carriages of the royals throughout the ages as well. You can see the luxury in which they would travel. Sometimes they have like 4 or 5 different carriages just for them, like a drawing room, a bedroom, a bathroom, a dining carriage and a sitting area as well. They travelled in real luxury. Railways were very important to York in the 19th century under the reign of Queen Victoria. York at points was in relative economic decline. The man whose statue we're going to see just on the left-hand side here, George Lehman, was instrumental in bringing the railways to York, essentially restored that faltering economy. It also established York as a tourist spot with lots of different tourist attractions and museums and places to go around as well. But George Lehman was instrumental in economically restoring York. He was also instrumental in taking down his long-term rival, George Hudson, the railway king, and he was involved in unveiling Hudson's dodgy financial dealings. Now going back within the city walls, we've been without the city walls for a while. You can see the Grand Hotel just on the right-hand side, the old headquarters of that North Eastern Railway. You might be able to spot the weather vane, although it's a bit hard to see from this side. It's worth a look though, that's a lovely weather vane with that steam train on top. We're now going over Lendal Bridge. It's one of the main entrances to the city. It's a lovely view as you enter. And we're going over the River Ouse, the main river that runs through York, the larger of the two rivers. Down on the left-hand side, that turret-looking building is the Market Tower. This is where leather was tanned to then be used as clothes. Tanning of leather often involved the boiling of urine. We're crossing the River Ouse, just down on the left-hand side. You can see one of our more popular new attractions, that's the ice cream boat. It goes up and down the river selling ice cream, so well worth it on this hot day. Left-hand side is the Lendal Tower. It's probably one of the earliest public waterworks. You actually currently stay in the Lendal Tower. It is accommodation for mine. On the right-hand side, in the building that's now Pizza Express, that was the old Gentleman's Club, a really lovely building. Bit of a different vibe now that it's a Pizza Express rather than a Gentleman's Club as well. The left-hand side is the Yorkshire Museum and the Museum Gardens, as well as the remains of St Mary's Abbey. So if you'd like to get off of the Yorkshire Museum or the Museum Gardens, this is your stop. Directly ahead of us, as you may have already noticed, is the Jubilee Crown. That is the York Minster. Minster took about 252 years to build from the 1200s to the 1400s. Goes back again. Always impressed by the level of dedication required to actually construct something over 250 years. Know that you started the project and it probably isn't to be completed even by your grandchildren. This level of dedication I don't think we necessarily have today. About 13 million pieces of glass and 200 different stained glass windows. You can go inside the Minster for church services to visit your office on our right. I have an idea of where those services are. Or you can pay to go for a tour around there. It's well worth a look. It's one of the most impressive buildings in this country. On the right-hand side is the York Theatre Royal. This is one of the main theatres in York. It's where touring productions perform and where York Theatre Royal produces some of its own content. It's also a haunted building, haunted by the Grey Lady. Legend has it that if she appears in the stalls for your performance, that essentially means that, if she appears in the stalls for the dress rehearsal, your play is going to go well.